Welcome to Salon Talks. I'm Mary Elizabeth Williams. I'm already having way too much fun today. It's ridiculous. I'm sitting next to Sherri Shepherd, who is just everything. She is an actress. She's a television host. She's won an Emmy as a co-host of The View. I'm going to ask you a little bit about The View later. She's co-starred on Everybody Loves Raymond, 30 Rock, and within 30 Rock, my favorite TV show of all time, Queen of Jordan. Trial and Error, love Trial and Error. Films like Precious, you were on Broadway. I saw you on Broadway in Cinderella with Keke Palmer. So
were you the one that left early?
No, and my phone did not go off. That wasn't me. No. And her new Netflix series with Gabriel Iglesias is called Mr. Iglesias. Sherri, hi.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to be here, and I'm so excited about this show. I'm so excited because it is really cool to have a TV show that you can actually watch with your family, because especially now everybody goes in their little pods and they just, even if you have a small apartment like we do, it's like we all just kind of look at our phone and we don't look at entertainment together. And this is something you actually can sit down with your family and watch. And it's not a kid's show.
No.
But you can watch it with your family.
It is. I think, a lot of people are comparing it to Welcome Back, Kotter, which was one of my favorite shows, because it's that kind of, it revolves around these band of misfit kids who are really quite smart. And Gabriel Iglesias, Gabe, he is a history teacher and he wants to save them all. So it clashes with the administration, like in Welcome Back, Kotter. It clashes with the administration. I'm the principal because we don't care about saving all the kids. And so it's, he takes a lot of topical issues and he really puts the funny underneath. And it comes out beautifully. I love working on this show.
And it was inspired by
Gabe's life.
His life. This was kind of his alternate life. Like his other timeline would be this. So how did you get involved in this? And who is the principal? What does she do?
Principal Paula Madison. It's so funny. She has it all together at school. Her professional life is completely perfect, while her personal life is just in shatters. And so Gabe helps her through that, because it's like they took a page from my book. She's been married twice. She's been divorced twice. She's looking for new love and is not able to find it. So that's who the principal is. But I had just come off of my other show, Trial and Error, on NBC. And it didn't look like it was coming back. And Gabe and I were doing something together. And he says, I have this show coming up and I would really like you to work with me. And then his executive producer, his partner, Kevin Hinch, called me. And they were really big about, this is what it was. They said, everybody, you have such a great reputation in Hollywood, and Gabe knows you, and he wants to work with nice people. And I said, I'm down for it, because at this point in my life, I don't want a lot of drama. I want to go to the set, have a really great time, and be thankful, and go home and take care of my child. So literally, that's how this came about.
Sure, you have had a little drama in some of your other.
So much drama, I know, and that's why I want something just very cool and calm, and I could go back home and soak my feet at night. So
that's it. That's what we all want, right?
But I think it was also Gabe thought I was really funny.
You are.
So he offered me this role.
It's full of really funny people, and it's full of really funny kids.
The kids are phenomenal. I've never worked with more phenomenal kids, and they've never done a 4-camera shoot in front of an audience. And so they did it in front of an audience, and I said, I guarantee you're gonna love it. And it was electrifying for them. And they got to see Gabriel and me, because we're stand-up comics, how we can improv and take it even further with the audience. But we have Oscar Nunez from The Office, Maggie Gayha from the show Gotham, Jacob Vargas, he was in Crash, and so many other films, and Richard Gant, who is on a show called Greenleaf on the OWN network. So very strong actors up around Gabe, and it's just a good time.
It is hard for me seeing Oscar from The Office as the antagonist.
He is the antagonist, and he's so mean, and but he's the perfect foil to Gabriel Iglesias, because Gabe is so sweet, and Oscar coming in, and in all of the episodes he's so good. I can't believe you're that evil.
Right. He just leans into it.
He doesn't,
sure does. And I think that's important, because it's like you don't want to play it as like, oh, but maybe secretly I'm a nice guy. He
is in there, but he gets a lot of glee from playing that kind of character.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
And what is so cool about this, and what I loved about the reboot of One Day at a Time, is it a show that also has a brain and also has a heart and is really rooted in real issues. You're a parent yourself. The first episode, I I was so stunned and moved because it's based on things that I have seen in the public school system myself, where I have seen kids really pushed out because you want the school to be a desirable school.
Absolutely. That's
and that
our
is
first
a real,
episode.
That is a real thing that happens.
It is such a real thing of kids who, because I think we all remember those teachers that gave us a little bit extra, you know, that said something that, you know, I remember my teacher, Miss Lashewska, said, "You're going to go far. You have," you know, she just spoke these words of life into me, things that I didn't think about. And I remember words that she said to this day from 2nd grade. You know, and so playing this part, Gabe really wanted a message to be in there, but he wanted it to be funny. So I think we skirted that line really well.
And it's without being self-conscious about it. And it's based in the real high school where he went.
Yeah, it's based at, it's Wilson High, and he went to Wilson High in Long Beach. So they love Gabe so much because everybody knows him as Fluffy, the comic. They love him so much that they allowed him to use the logo, the colors, the front of the school. So even for Gabe, because that was so real for him, it was real for him to play it.
And to play it in this world where the cast is very diverse, but it's not in a sort of like ticking boxes way. It just is the world.
It is the world, and that's what I like. It looks very authentic. It doesn't look like you said, oh, we need one black, we need one Hispanic, we need one Asian. It's just really diverse, because you're right. It just represents the world.
It represents where we're living right now.
Absolutely.
And it is, you know, it's so interesting. You're talking about being in front of an audience, and you and Gabe, who come from this background of stand-up, and you've been in front of audiences before.
Oh my gosh.
Sherri, you've done stage. You were on a little TV show called The View.
I know that View. Is that the one with Barbara Walters?
Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you remember it from back in your early career.
You know, can I tell you? I was at a play, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and there was an older man next to me, and literally doing, you know, one of the songs. He goes, "My wife knows you. I'm not sure who you are." And I said, "I'm Sherri Shepherd from The View." And he goes, and I said, "With Barbara." And he goes, "She's from The View with Barbara Walters." And it's Barbara. I love her. And it was, you know, that's just an iconic show.
Right.
Everybody knows The View.
Everybody knows The View. And you have said, and I read earlier this year, you said it's like, now you kind of think of it as like an old boyfriend.
Yes.
Like, it was great. We had our time, but now that time has passed.
Now the time has passed.
And now you've moved on, but this is always part of you, and it's always, I mean, there was this best-selling book this year, you know.
Oh, The Legacy Punch,
yeah.
Yes.
People can't stop talking about this show, and I want to ask you, and then we'll get back, I want to go back to your current show, but what do you think it is that's just so iconic about this idea of just women sitting around and talking? I mean, that's my mic. It's a tale as old as time, and yet.
I think that Barbara Walters is so brilliant because she just said, I want a show where it looks like women are sitting around the table just talking. Nothing scripted. They're just giving their opinions. Women, and that's the way it started out. It would say, you know, women from all different walks of life coming together and giving their opinion. And I think we never had that before. And Barbara Walters was just brilliant in bringing it to the screen. And people don't, I think if you read the book, you'll find out, literally to keep it on the air, she had to call affiliates all over the country and beg them to carry The View. And she fought for that show. And I think
fought for years.
She fought for years for the show. And to bring 2 black women on a talk show, that was never done. Usually they have one black woman and they go, we're fine, we don't need it. But she brought 2 black women on the show because she knew that Whoopi and I were from 2 different generations and we had 2 different viewpoints. We clashed a lot on the show, Whoopi and I. And so I think that Barbara Walters, even if you look at all of these panel shows now, they're offshoots of The View. They all start with right. You know, the real, the talk, the this. The chew. Wendy Williams has Hot Topics. So it has spawned so many shows that are like The View. And I think that people still, even now, look at that show. This is the way, you know, women start their day going, what are they saying? What, you know, and I feel so blessed to have been on a show like that for 8 years. And underneath, on my left was Barbara Walters, and on my right was a Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, I'm going, you can't pay for this kind of experience.
Yeah.
So when people come up to me and they say, I loved you on The View, or they still think I'm on The View, to me, I don't run from it. I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah, and it's such an important part of, I think, not just television history, but media history, because it really did help change the way that women as consumers of news and stories are seen. It's
and
like you can talk about your family, and then you can talk about the presidential election.
We can do Netanyahu and Khloe Kardashian at the same time. Plus, who has the best orgasms? You know, it's like, and we would.
Is it Netanyahu?
You know about that old Netanyahu or Bradley Cooper. But it's like, it's so great because The View was a place that everybody knew. Put the politicians, and even now, you have to come on The View. If you want to appeal to this female base, you got to come on The View and you got to sit with these women. And they're going to grill you. They're not going to be easy on you. And that is still the place to come to make any kind of significant difference. So it's still that way today, and it's still going on. And the year I was on was the only time we've ever won an Emmy. They've been nominated every year. The only time that an Emmy was won for Best Co-Host was when I was on there with Whoopi Goldberg.
You got that Emmy.
Yeah, I got the Emmy.
And maybe now you're going to get another one, right? Maybe we could start it with this. You are so fun on this show.
Thank
you are so fun, and you know your character, and you know your lane, and it's like, I think when you become a grown-up, you don't realize that, oh, nobody else has their act together. Like people, like your teachers are people who have lives, and that's very much explored in your character.
That's what I love with Mr. Iglesias, because it goes behind the scenes of what the teachers go through, what the administration goes through. My character, like I said, her professional life is together. She wants this school to be a blue ribbon school. She's working hard. She's getting noticed by different administrations, but the personal life is in shambles. And she's sad about that, and she's raising her daughter by herself. And those are coming up in subsequent episodes of, Gabe, what do I do about this? Because everything else is falling into place while it's nothing here.
And then the students start to see that part of her life. And I don't know about, but when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, if you saw a teacher outside of school, it was just like fright, like you didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I remember going to a restaurant and I saw my teacher and I kept looking at her like she was some freak in a zoo. Like, what is she doing? She's eating.
Yeah, no, it's like seeing a monkey in clothes. Like you're just like, this is not okay.
Not
like there's
okay.
something wrong with this.
I know.
And another thing that is so fun about this show, for those of us who did grow up on like Welcome Back, Kotter, or Head of the Class. It's really just it's so intentionally, so clearly meant to be an homage to that kind of show. And for generations who aren't used to that, it is like the kids who you're working with. It is
because
classic.
they're so used to single camera. Yeah. So coming back to the classic 4-camera shooting and being in front of an audience is something so different. And it's just I love doing single camera because I did single camera on Trial and Error and on 30 Rock, How I Met Your Mother. Those are all single cameras, and those are great. But as a stand-up, to get back to being in front of a live audience and doing those jokes, and Gabe is so wonderful at allowing me to really, and Oscar, to really fly and improv and take it even further. And you can do that because you hear if it works, because the audience gives you the immediate feedback.
And Sherri, I don't know too many people who have had the kind of diversity in a career that you have had, where you have done so many stand-up and scripted shows and talk shows. And this is to go from, and particularly to go directly from Trial and Error to this. Trial and Error
so
was
different.
Such an outside-the-box kind of a show, and such an outside-the-box character.
I played a woman who, it was a very small town, and we were just trying to solve a murder with somebody, a city boy from New York, who was in this really weird
town. So they describe him as northern. He was
a northerner. And it was just this very quirky town. It was really my favorite role because I played the paralegal research assistant and receptionist named Ann Flatch. And I had all these neurological disorders. I had facial blindness. I fainted when you scared me. When I saw beautiful artwork, I fainted. I walked backwards when I got my flu shots. I spoke in a British accent when I had a cold. And they were all really,
I was going to say, these
really true neurological symptoms.
These are all things that people...
And I had them. I jumped 10 feet in the air. If you startled me, it was so... And it wasn't that sassy kind of girl. She just was very sweet. And she, and I got the role because when I went in to audition for them, and I just kept smiling because I forgot my reading glasses. and I couldn't see anybody's face, and so I just had a smile on my face the entire time. And they said to me, "Can you read part of the script?" And I went, "Okay." And I'm reading, and I'm like, I don't know what the lines say. And I was at the Ice House in Pasadena on stage, and I got the word that they said, "You were perfect." That's exactly who this woman is she just has a gentle spirit, and she smiles a lot. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. I didn't have my reading glasses.
It
was my favorite role.
Well, because getting a little bit older and losing a little bit of our eyesight turns out to be a career advantage.
It was a career advantage
even
for
if
me.
Our kids laugh at us for how big the font is.
I think my son hides my reading glasses. I'm like Fred Sanford. You remember watching Sanford and Son? And he would go in that drawer and have all these reading glasses? That's me.
I have reading glasses in every drawer, every room.
I have a wig with reading glasses attached to it. Like when I put the wig on, it's got the reading glasses pinned in.
Oh my God.
Yes, I got my reading glasses wig.
Sherri, I'm going to give you a tip. You know what they have now? They have these little tiny, they're called eye optics, I think, and you fold them. You can slap them onto the back of your iPhone, or you can have them on a key ring, and then you never don't have a pair of eyeglasses.
See, but I fight that. This is why I fight this, because I'm newly single. And I'm fighting wearing reading. Like, I can't go to a club and be pulling my glasses off the back of my phone.
Okay.
That's not sexy.
It's not sexy.
I know.
But you can just slap it on the back of your phone, and it looks like a credit card. And
like,
no one will know.
I already got the reading glasses you put on, and you can, like, bring them down. And I saw this little boy was looking at me, and I was like, hey. And I forgot that my reading glasses were folded down. I said, oh, good grief.
It's the, having your reading glasses folded down is the new having spinach between your teeth, maybe.
I'm telling you, it is with that reading glasses. And then, when you just, like, gave up, you put them on that chain because your girlfriend trying to sell jewelry from a little jewelry business, so you put them on a chain with the little sparkly things, and I was just like, oh.
I've decided that's just for the house. That's just for the house. The chain does not leave the house.
But meanwhile, your font is so huge. I was at a restaurant, and somebody went, Miss Sherri, and I said, yeah, do I know you? And he's like, I can read everything on your phone. Like, how big is that font?
If you're worried about digital privacy,
just
you know what? Get a pair of glasses. That's the key.
You don't even have to look. Just look at my phone. You can see it a block away because my font is so big.
Oh my God, Sherri! Before you go, I want to ask you one more thing, because this is a show that is based on a real person, a real history teacher, and you started talking earlier about a teacher who changed your life.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about this teacher.
Oh, her name was Miss Lecheska.
In second grade?
She was in second grade. And she gave me my love of reading and doing characters and being funny. She would sit, and I remember, because I grew up in the inner city of Chicago, so she was this white lady with blonde hair, and I used to go, oh, you got pretty hair, because we had our little pigtails. But she read to us all the time, and she would do characters. And I remember that's when I first heard, I don't know if you remember the song Chicken Soup with Rice.
Are you kidding? I sang it in Glee Club.
Carol Bayer Sager?
Carol King.
Carol King. And she would play
January,
Chicken.
it's so nice.
And she would play these songs, and she would be the character. And I was fascinated by the characters that she would do. And I took that with me, and she'd always say, Sherri, you're so smart, and you're so funny. And I just remember those words about Miss Lecheska, that words that you impart to somebody can really make a difference in their life. And even as an actress, if I see somebody on the street, I like to be so positive, because they will never meet me again, but I think they'll remember what I said.
You always, what is that saying? It's like you always remember you don't remember what people say.
But how you made them feel, how they made you feel.
How they made you feel. And and to have, for a child, to have someone make them feel like you are smart, you are seen.
Yeah, and I always remember that.
And that's what this show is about.
Absolutely.
It's about someone who sees that in these kids who are not getting that from.
And that's what they love about Gabriel Iglesias, because these kids feel like you see me. When nobody else acknowledges me, you see me. And I think that really touches people.
And it comes from the heart for him, and it clearly comes from the heart from everybody on the cast. It's such a delightful show. It's really, really special. Sherri, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Do you have some reading glasses I could borrow?
I've got like 4 pairs in my bag.
Everything is blurry.
Sherri, I literally have 3 pairs in my bag.
Thank
so
you.
Because
I wore the wrong wig. I'm just like, I need some glasses.
Sherri Shepherd, thank you so much for
Thank you, bitch. Yeah, fuck this shit.
Hell yeah.
Suck my damn dick.